Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome back. Um, I guess I'll introduce myself first. I always forget to do that, but my name is Marissa Price. I am a social worker, healer, business educator. And yeah, if y'all watch my channel, you know that I talk about online entrepreneurship, Black women getting free, which is why I have a wonderful guest with us today, Stephanie and Roshida from Exodus Summit 2023. Still kind of pinching myself and still extremely nervous, but we can get through it. But yeah, I would love to pass it over to them to introduce themselves and all the amazing things that they do.
Okay, she's gonna make me go first.
Oh.
Hi, my name is Roshida Dowe. I am a career break coach. I help women leave jobs that don't serve them to go live their joy around the world. People like Marissa.
Yes.
And I am the co-founder and co-host of Exodus Summit. We are on our we're on our fourth year of Exodus Summit this year. Marissa is also a speaker at the summit this year. So We're very excited to be here with her on her platform.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter. I am the creator of House Sitter School and the co-creator of Exodus Summit with Roshida. We are into Black women living out what they want for themselves, getting clarity on what they want and then living it. And we also like when Black women do as little as possible. And so Exodus Summit is how we get Black women convinced. It's Black women to do as little as possible and take some time, take a career break, take a sabbatical, take some time to move abroad and do what it is that is inside of you that hasn't had a chance to thrive yet. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to be here, Marissa. No need to be nervous. Okay. It's just
okay.
It's like I told you on the start I did not have pants on, right? Like, why would you be nervous of someone who shows up to a video with no pants?
Point taken. Yes. But yes, for people who may be new to like the whole Exodus Summit universe, because we know it's an entire universe, right? What is Exodus Summit? If you can talk just a little bit about that, and then what can Black women expect to get out of it, to get free, right? Because I think that's the ultimate goal that so many of us have.
Mm-hmm. Well, Essence says Exodus Summit is the premier online event for Black women who are looking for sabbaticals, career breaks, move abroad, etc. And I would say the same thing. Exodus Summit is our baby. It is the thing that we love and put all of the energy. We try not to work a lot, but when we do work, we work around Exodus Summit. It is an event that helps Black women see possibilities in their life. We bring in Black women speakers to speak to our Black woman audience about different themes each year. And this year's theme is freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom. And Stephanie and I both got free in our version of free years ago. And we want other women to experience that as well. So Exodus Summit this year is an online event. It's been online for 4 years. It's still an online event, easy to access, 3.5 days, October 6th through 9th, of Black women in community getting free together.
I love that. Yeah, and I'll just say, like, as a participant in Exodus Summit last year, Move Abroad Money, that was life-changing for me, right? Because I was in a extremely toxic job, and I was actually in Roshida's program, From Burnout to Bliss, during that. But not even being able to see a way out and having that information to be like, there are all these options that exist for me to make money, to move abroad, that was life-changing. So I'm very excited for this year as well. I did want to ask you about the theme. So time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom for Black women. That's huge. So how did you come upon this theme this year? Because I'm here for all of it, but just want to know like the backstory.
We made it up. People kept asking us, what's the theme? What's the theme?
And we were like,
who knows? Exodus Summit, because Roshida and I took career breaks, which led us to not working all that much anymore, which led us to moving abroad. Roshida lives in Mexico City. I'm in the process of moving to Costa Rica, right? Women in our community are into those things, but not all women want a sabbatical right now, or not all women want to move abroad, but we all want what our thing is, right? We don't want to prescribe a move abroad to all Black women. Well, honestly, I really do, but not every Black woman wants to move abroad. But everyone, what we do want for all Black women is we want you to have the clarity of knowing what it is, what you want for yourself. And we think the building blocks of that clarity are having location freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom, the trifecta. They will take you from a life that revolved around work and a life where everybody was the boss of you, right? Everybody's the boss of Black women. Jobs are the boss of Black women. Black excellence is the boss of Black women. Family responsibilities are the boss of Black women. Location freedom plus financial freedom plus time freedom are the building blocks of a new, whatever the thing is for you, whatever that looks like for you. And so that's what we're talking about this year.
So I'm going to add to that, and we're going to say something we haven't said before, which was in January, Stephanie and I got together and talked about what we wanted the summit to be. And we talked about moving intentionally, like creating a summit that was around making intentional moves. And then as we were going through that, we figured out who, with intentional mind, what are the sessions we need to have? And who are the speakers we want to put in front of these women? Who are the ones that can help them the most? And then we had this all set up. And then people said, what is the theme? And Stephanie made it up. So like we intentionally moved towards intentionality. And but intentionality in this space moves you naturally towards freedom. So we moved towards freedom without realizing we were moving towards freedom. We created the summit, and then the theme around freedom was the perfect fit. So we didn't start with freedom. We ended with freedom as a description of what was already on the table.
Okay. I love that. So it kind of just evolved naturally. Into freedom.
Honestly, like if your audience is running their business, I want y'all to know that the end result you see is just a lot of like talking things through. What makes sense, right? Yes. And someone not caring about certain things like themes, and someone else caring about things. Because somebody was like, "What's the theme?" I said, "We don't need one," and she was like, "You're wrong, right? Like that's not it."
Yes.
So, it really is just working through an idea and seeing what comes next. Working through what your goal is, right? Our goal was to get women abroad. Our goal every year has been more Black women taking breaks, creating space in their life for themselves. Because it's like a lot of times we have space in our life for everything else, but not ourselves, right? The work, family, the chores, all of that stuff. And so in talking about what we wanted to see and talking to our audience about what they wanted to see, freedom was just a natural evolution. But actually, Marissa, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you said that you took you attended the summit last year and it made changes for you. And now are you officially moved or are you on a break? I actually don't know yet.
I think I'm officially moved at this point.
Okay. Wait, you started as a break.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So last year I took a career break in From Burnout to Bliss. So that concept to me, like a career break or sabbatical, was completely new. But I was in a toxic job in really reeling from the mental health effects of that. And then I took a career break using FMLA leave. So I took 11 weeks off of my job, traveled internationally for the first time to Mexico City. And then I went back to that job because, long story, but I wound up in credit card debt because they denied my short-term disability leave claim. Okay. So I went back and then things got worse, as they often do. So ended up leaving officially in March of this year. And then we went to Playa del Carmen to do a scouting trip. And now I'm in Guadalajara with my husband and our dog. So yeah.
So you're officially, so now this is not a break anymore. This is a move.
I think so.
All right.
So. I'm still hesitant to be like, am I in next step?
It's claim it, girl. Claim it. Because a move can be for however long you want it to be.
That's true.
It's not a lifetime decision, right?
That's true. Yes.
You credited the summit for getting you out the door earlier, but I want to know if it was the content from a summit or being in that community and being around the people who were already doing it. Like what do you give bigger credit to? Like is it that you started running a business and so now you have the money and now you could do the thing you couldn't do before? Or is it that like this is a thing that wasn't really like didn't seem feasible until you were in that space or something else?
Yeah, I think it was both. I think it was definitely being a part of the community, seeing that it is possible, right? Because this is a completely new concept to me. Even traveling abroad, because the only example I had of that was like study abroad in college, and it was always too expensive. I'm a first generation college student, so that always felt inaccessible to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm never going to be able to travel abroad. So being a part of Exodus Summit, I'm like seeing Black women do it. I'm like, okay, I can do it. It is possible for me. So it was that piece, and then seeing the options that existed with the Move Abroad Money Summit last year, and me having a business background, I'm like, I can take the skills that I already have in this toxic job, transition to be a virtual assistant to help Black women build businesses, and then have that income coming in to allow me to move abroad. So I think it was both of those that worked in tandem to allow me to officially do it. Yeah.
Good.
So you weren't a virtual assistant until after the summit?
Yes.
I thought you were already doing it. Okay, listen,
No.
I'm just looking for ways that I can take credit. I knew Burnout to Bliss got the credit, but I didn't know that I also got credit. Okay.
No, I just became a virtual assistant. So I went through the Digital Nomad Kit, Hannah Dixon's program, for the tools that I needed. But the idea was implanted last year at the Exodus Summit 2022, for me to be able to be, to do something like that. So yeah, I just became a virtual assistant in March of this year, I think, because I worked in banking before.
Oh, that's wonderful. I thought you were doing it already. Okay, that's good to know. Listen, so putting action, so it's one thing to go to a summit and learn some stuff. It's another thing to put action into it, right? To do it, right? So we're so glad to see you doing it, to putting it to work for you. Some people are collectors of information and they know how, right? They learn and learn and learn, but never implement. So seeing you implement so quickly and to be out, just like in Mexico now.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you didn't leave your husband. So yay for y'all.
No. No, he actually was the one that like pushed me because I was having those cold feet.
Amazing.
Leaving the US this time. I'm like, no, I want to stay back. But no, he pushed me. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad. I did want to ask about collaboration, because I feel like the two of you together, like the power of collaboration is just ever present and it's just so inspiring. So I wanted to ask, like, what has collaboration brought to you in, like, I mean, the whole Exodus Summit, right, is a product of your collaboration. So how has that been for you?
How's it been, Roshida?
Oh, no, she said to you. She was talking to you.
It's been amazing. Listen, it's been amazing. There's nothing. So Exodus Summit is our baby together, right? There's nothing that I could have done inside of Exodus Summit that would have been a fraction of the goodness. It would not have been even 10% of what it is today, or 1%. Without Roshida. Collaboration didn't add. We're not adding 50 plus 50 and getting 100, right? We're taking 10 and exponentially improving it by doing this thing together.
We're multiplying.
It's exponentially beyond what you would think, right? When you think about partnering with someone, you think about adding, but it's not adding. It's exponentially multiplying, right? I am not a person who has a history of following up on stuff. Right? I'm not. And so partnering with Roshida, when I met Roshida, when I met her on the internet, right? Did not meet her in person until after we had done some big stuff together.
First summit, yeah.
But when I met Roshida on the internet, she was a person who I could tell could do stuff, right? She didn't talk me to death. She was doing stuff. And I knew that she was a person who had a like-minded love for Black women. That was evident. And one of something that she said in our first conversation was, the universe is generous, right? So I'm like, this is my girl. This is my, right? And I did not have any other evidence or any other clue that this was going to work out in a positive way, except that I liked her. And we were willing to give it a try, to try something together. And that something is a movement today. That something is beyond anything either one of us thought was going to happen. Even in the most grandiose moment of planning the first summit, we never imagined what we have today. That is what collaboration does. Black women are told and trained and taught to do everything on your own. We're told not to rely on community. We're told, that we're failing if we're relying on other people, if we're relying on support. But we are proof positive that you get so much more and things are so much better together. Collaboration over everything, collaboration over competition. I need to calm down. We have done amazing things and people's lives are changed, including Marissa, right? Including yours. Lives are changed because we said together, let's try this thing. Let's try it together.
I would like to say that Exodus Summit would not exist without Stephanie, because now she says she might not follow up, she might not follow through. I wouldn't have started. Like 50 that first year? Oh no, I'm not. I'm so sorry. I'll be on my couch, right? Like this. When I think back about how our system, we don't have a system. We just make we work because we both feel the same way about so many things. We feel the same way about work. Do what we got to do and not a thing more, right? Like that's it. We feel the same way about Black women. Like we want y'all to win. We want y'all to win in love. We want us to win together, right? We feel the same way about capitalism, about work. But we didn't know those things when we started, right? We just knew that I was like, she doesn't seem like a serial killer. Sure, she wants to do one project together. Right. Sure, let's do it. And so women often ask, how did you guys know you could trust each other? And I'm like, we didn't, right? We just took a leap. And now it's 4 years later and we're still leaping together, because when we work together, there's every once in a while, there's a little snit between us, but we've never had an argument. Because what are we talking about? What are we gonna literally there's nothing to argue about. If I think we need to start a new program and Stephanie doesn't, well, either I got to do the work for the new program or the new program's not going to get done. Ta-da, that's where we are, right? There's nothing for us to argue about. And that's why our business runs so smoothly, because neither one of us, we're not invested in the outcome as much as we are in the moment. In this moment, what makes the most sense? We want freedom for Black women, but that doesn't mean we're doing another 7-week summit, because baby, that almost killed us, right? Y'all, I don't know if a lot of you guys who haven't been around since the first summit might not know this, but Stephanie disappeared on me for weeks after the first summit. I could not find her. And people were reaching out to me, strangers on the internet were like, is Stephanie okay? I haven't seen her online. And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know you.
I'm pretty sure we were in communication. I was just not.
No, there was at least, so we went from talking multiple times every day. No, she disappeared. And I was like, if something was wrong, I would hear from her mom, I'm sure. It's fine. But go ahead.
So we do our separate things, right? And we do, which are very related, right? And we do our joint thing. I think that a lot of women think that if you do collaboration, you have to only collaborate, right? Or if you do separate, you only have to do separate. And that's not true. Collaborate on the things and do your own individual things as well. It's just,
Mhm.
you'll like it. You'll like it.
And it's weird because our separate things,
Very similar.
our separate things are similar, but not the same in the way that like it would have been easy for us to see each other as competition.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But looking at how we could make a difference together has led to so much more greatness. And I will say that I've seen a lot more collaboration within women in our community who I'm going to take credit for following our model. I'm taking credit for that too. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
For following our model. Because I hear people all the
Yeah.
time who are like, you know, I know they met through us. There are people who I know met through us who were like, we want to start, who come to us like, we want to start this thing together. Can you talk us through some things? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I sure can. Because I'm taking credit for it. So when your business is booming and when you're out there changing lives, I'm about to be like, and that's my baby too, right? That's me.
Yes.
But yeah, collaboration in all forms is so much better. Like working with other people on YouTube. You know, like we have a large collaboration or like a medium-sized collaboration, Stephanie and I, in the scheme of the world. But the smaller one-time collaborations also count. This started as a one-time collaboration on a YouTube project. We make 12 videos together, 6 on my channel, 6 on your channel, boom. And then it has grown since then, right?
Right.
With no roadmap. There was no like, let's sit down and draw up a business plan. There was, let's do this thing and see what happens. And every year it's let's do this thing and see what happens.
Yeah.
You want to add something? Stephanie always wants to add stuff. You want to add something? Let's do this thing and see what happens. And it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And that kind of like, even coming from the business world, the banking world, it's like revolutionary to kind of have that like laid back, you know, attitude about let's just try it and see what works. Because business can feel very heavy, very like structured. So that has been inspirational for me to see like a new model of business.
Oh.
So thank you.
Yeah. Capitalism tells you that like if you're not squeezing every dollar out that's possible, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this sounds like too much work for me, right? Like I also don't want my community, who are my customers are in my community. I don't want my community to feel like I'm squeezing them, right? I don't want my community to feel like we're at the gas tank price gouging, right? Eggs are $12 at the grocery store, right? Like I don't want them to have that experience with us. I want them to feel like they're coming and they're not just customers. They are part of the community. And that doesn't happen if your business is hard, right? If you're and hard, I mean like, you know, you're going overtime trying to get the money out.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we like to provide value in the things we do, we hope. Stephanie has been saying, you come to the summit, every single summit is worth the price of the all access pass. Every single session is worth the price of the all access pass. And you're getting, how many sessions? 19 sessions?
A lot.
I'm tired.
I thought there was 18.
Because it's an even number, and then we add one on Friday. So it's either 19 or 23, and I don't know what the number is.
Yeah, that's right. So Marissa, you have, because you're a speaker, you have a different link. So instead of sending people to the regular link, I just put in the private chat the link that you should be sharing with the world.
Oh, yes, yes.
As a speaker, you get an affiliate. That's right. Use your link.
Yes, I have that too. I didn't want to. Okay.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Use it.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
I'll post it here
and get paid.
because I have both pasted here. I'm like, let me. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
no,
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I was thinking for it. I was occupied for a minute. Let me find this girl's link. Yeah, you're using the generic link.
Yes. But yeah, Black Women Build Wealth. I see that she has a question too. It's also a speaker at Exodus Summit. But what type of freedom is your favorite? I thought it was financial for me, but I'm changing to time freedom now. Do you have a favorite type of freedom out of time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom? Or do they all kind of like work together?
I have a favorite. Time freedom is my favorite freedom. It's my favorite freedom.
Yeah.
I've had times in my life when my job could dictate even my off time, right? I was in the Army for a while. I was a hospital pharmacy tech. When you're a hospital employee, they have a say in your, right, in your life, in your off time.
Yeah.
And so time freedom is my favorite freedom. Being able to decide what I do and don't do in my day and in my year is amazing. I get to wake up slow and start my day slow. That's time freedom. I don't wake up and have to do immediately. That's a recipe for disaster for me. I'm not that kind of person. I need hours in my day before I start getting started. I need hours in my day. That's time freedom.
Yeah.
And then I have months after this summit, right? I have months where I don't have to do a whole lot of work. Yes, time freedom is my favorite freedom. I love that question.
So I have two answers to that
Yes.
question. Time freedom is my favorite, but I think financial freedom is the most important, because I think it's very, very hard to get to time freedom without getting to financial freedom first. Right? So if I was starting from scratch and I had to pick one, I think I would select, if a genie was going to grant me one, let me start over. If a genie was going to come down and say, I'm going to give you one of these immediately, it would be financial freedom. If I had to hustle and grind and scratch and claw my way to financial freedom in order to get it, I think it would be lower down on my list. You know what I mean? Like, I think when you have them, having them all, I can say that I didn't get to time freedom until I got to financial freedom, but I do love time freedom. Can I love all my babies the same?
Yes.
The same.
Because I was about to say I love time freedom the best, and I was like, but that financial freedom is nice, dog. Like, it is.
It's wonderful to have the money to use having time freedom and location freedom, but no money to use those things, that would suck. So it is nice to have the money to be able to use that time freedom to your advantage, to use that location freedom to your advantage. So they go together. Okay. They just go together.
They do. I think of it as like a triangle, like having all three works together. And a lot of times in America, you hear you need the money, you need the money, you need the money. And we forget about the location freedom isn't always necessary, right? I want it, but not everybody wants it.
That's right.
But I think more people want would like time freedom, but don't acknowledge that in their life because they don't see a path to time freedom, right? Because in order to get the money, their time is gone, right?
Right.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Adelia says, "Did I actually bring my plaque?"
Yes,
I did. Okay, yes, I did. I live here now. Okay, yes, indeed.
I love it.
Not having it, right? Like, I want my thing.
Yes. Oh, and I guess like going off of that, I would love to talk about like digital entrepreneurship. Because again, like having a background in business, I was taught the very traditional aspects of business. Like you have to, go to the bank, apply for a loan, all of these things. And it creates so many barriers to entrepreneurship, especially for Black women. And I feel like you all have demonstrated the world of digital entrepreneurship, right, for Black women that has opened up and created so many opportunities. So I would love to hear just about that piece of financial freedom, right, when it comes to digital entrepreneurship. How have you found that to be a path to freedom, to financial freedom, digital entrepreneurship?
We run a program called Get Your Next 3 Clients that we do with an ExodUS Summit. We do it occasionally. I think we did it like 3 or 4 times this year. I don't know if we'll do it again before the year is over. We might. I don't know. But every year as we do this program, we talk to women, and it's the same thing over and over again. It's, I want to start my business, but I'm waiting for my trademark. Or I want to start my business, but my logo isn't right. Or my website, I need to get my website redesigned. And I'm like, you are selling your coaching services. You're like, if you're a drop shipper, I understand that your website needs to be doing what it's doing, right? But if you are a coach and you're not seeking corporate clients, your website, your logo, that doesn't matter, right? Like, make some money. Make some money. Like, let's talk about the things that are going to make you some money today. And a pretty website isn't going to get me if it's just a pretty website, right? So we tell people all the time, like, get your skills out into the world. Let people know what you're doing. I talked to her from Burnout to Bliss client the other day. You know her. I'm not going to say her name. I talked about her in the program, though, in our group coaching program. And she has a business and she wants her business to be successful so she can be location independent and stop going to work. Okay. Where do you talk about it the most? I talk about it on Instagram. Of your Instagram followers, how many people know that you have this business? Okay, maybe 75%. And of your Instagram followers, what percentage of them know that you're open to new clients? 0%. Well, baby, what did you do? Like, what are you doing? Right? You're coming out here and you're talking about your business, but you're not the people who know you don't know that you're open for, that you can take clients, that you're open for business. And that just that's not a path to, you know what I mean? Like, getting a website is not a path. Because if you're not sharing that you're open for business in the places that you talk about your business now, you're not going to be talking about your website, your business when you get a website. You're not going to be talking about, like, you can book me on my website, because you're not attempting to sell yourself now. You're putting it off. You're procrastinating. You're doing things, right? Like, you're creating barriers between you and money. Yeah. And if you can take down the barriers between you and money, the money will come, right? And that, I think, is the biggest advice to Black women out there. Like, stop playing small and telling yourself you need to do X before you can make money or before people take you seriously. Just figure out where you are today, what you can do to get money today. All of us can go get some money before the day is over. Before the day is over, you can sell something. You just got to try, right? You got to put the effort out there. You have to talk to your people. It's not a logo. It's not a website. It's not a copyright. It's not a trademark. It's not. That's not putting money in your pocket. It's putting money in someone else's pocket. The person who told you need to do it, it's putting money in their pocket.
A lot of the traditional advice or the traditional path to entrepreneurship is designed to not be accessible, right? Yes. Like, a lot of this stuff is designed so that everybody can't do it. Now, not everybody should do it anyway. Not everybody should be an entrepreneur. Paychecks are nice. It's nice to have a paycheck, right? But a lot of the stuff that we think we have to do, those hoops we think we have to jump through, are there because there's some gatekeeping happening. Right. If you look at it like, what would people pay me for, and what is the fastest path to that? Where's the ease, right? What's the easiest way that people will pay me for my thing? And just do that. You'll find that a lot of the things that you may need down the road, have been like procrastination models, right? They're just ways for you to put off actually selling your product or your service to a customer. Yeah. So what will people pay me for? And what's the easiest way for me to deliver this thing? That's where the money is. The money is not in a fancy website. So Exodus Summit doesn't have a website. We run a 6-figure summit. We run a 6-figure virtual summit. We don't have a website. ExodusSummit.com is not our website. It's somebody else's site. It's a summit hosting platform that we link, that we redirect to. We don't have, there is no ExodusSummit.com. There is no Exodus Summit website. 6 figures from our summit for the last 2 years. 3 years.
Wow.
There is no website. Okay. That doesn't convince you.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think it's 3 years. I think there's no website. Okay.
We apply, we've in business making 6 figures
Right.
for 3 years. We applied for a trademark this year, like last month.
Last month.
Because yes, someone could swoop in and steal our name, but like they're not gonna do it.
They can't do it.
They can't steal my Stephanie.
Mhm.
Listen, not a single one of you can steal my Stephanie. Right? Like that's it. But there's so like we focused on the things that would create a strong business, that would make money. I would say the other thing that makes our business for us personally successful is that we really run it around us and our lives, right? Like it's not the Stephanie and Roshida show, but it very much is, this is an integrity with how I want to live my life, right? Like I'm not doing customer service at 10 o'clock at night, right? Because I want to be asleep. Right. And your email is not urgent. You can wait until tomorrow. I promise. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It is knowing that our first year we did a 7-day 50-something speaker summit. And honestly, it almost ruined us. Our lot, like it truly took us down. And after that, we were like, oh no, we won't do that again. And every once in a while, people were like, you should add this. You should add this speaker. And we're like, oh no, baby, no. Like, no. No. 3 days is where we're comfortable. And we do things we think our customers want, but we're very good at having boundaries around what we're not going to do.
That's right.
Part of that is the customer isn't always right.
Mm.
And we're okay saying that.
Yeah.
If you see some of the emails we get, you'll know the customer is not always right.
Yeah.
And running a business where the customer is always right would be out of integrity with who we are as humans. Right? Go ahead.
Part of it is also that we have to model what we're moving women towards. We can't say reject burnout, reject hustle culture, reject Black excellence, and then be burned out and hustling and grinding. We can't do it. We have to live it. We have to live what we teach. We have to. Coaches are very guilty of this, right? Coaches are women in the coaching space are very guilty of working to exhaustion and doing it, or we're operating in a way that is exactly opposite of what you teach your clients. You have to be in alignment.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And so I have a community of Black women digital entrepreneurs, free Black women community online. And that's one of the things that's kind of astonishing to me. Like all the skills that we have, you can just turn those into a business so easily now. In me having worked like in banking, in the traditional banking field, trying to get capital to Black owned businesses, seeing Move Abroad money, the summit last year, I'm like, we don't really have to do any of this anymore. This is this is old advice. We can take the power back into our hands and create what we wish existed and use our skill sets and not have to work for these toxic institutions anymore. So that's like, I love it.
I see a lot of business advice that is, especially and coming from Black people, that is very steeped in the model of this is how it's always been done. Like, this is how to get business credit. And I'm like, well, what you doing with business credit? Like, what do you, like, do you have inventory? Because if so, okay. But like, do you need the business credit to get the inventory? Or could you run something for, you know what I mean? Could you do something else for a while and make the money? So there's a lot of, get the business credit and then get the business car, right? Which, you can deduct from your taxes if you get the G-Wagon, right? And a lot of it doesn't seem to come from a place of like, I would say alignment with who I think. It comes with an alignment with capitalism, right? That's what it comes. It's in alignment with capitalism and the way white men have been doing things for hundreds of years. And I'm just not interested in what they've been doing, right? Like that's not my thing. And so when I always cringe when I hear that advice, like, I get the Sprinter van, get the Jeep. I'm like, for why?
I did ask Roshida. I was like, do you think a Porsche Panamera qualifies? She said it's not heavy enough. Give it up.
Because like yes, if you need a car and you like the G-Wagon is what you want, like it makes sense. But I hear like, no, go out and like that's the next step in your business is to go, you know, get that, and then you can get it deducted in taxes. And I'm like, there's a bunch of people out there driving G-Wagons who don't want it, right? That's not their dream car. That's not their dream car. But their business coach told them this is the next step.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Cool. Good luck. I want to drive a car I want. Actually, I don't want to drive. I want to be driven. So let that be.
Oh, yes. That's even better.
Listen, you think I'm going on hard streets? I know.
Yes.
So you're like, no, thank you. Drive me.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Yes. I did want to read this comment from Tracy. Love you, ladies. I have 1 year to go to finish my LMFT program, and then I will work into 1 year and then go into telehealth after that. I'm so excited to see the light at the tunnel. Yes. I'm celebrating you, Tracy. That's amazing.
That's right. Amazing. So I want to say this. We're talking in the summit about, so when I hear of a therapist, I hear, listen, you got location and time freedom.
It's true.
We're hearing from a woman who is doing, in the summit this year, we're hearing from Joanna, who is a doctor who is doing like working seasonally, right?
Yeah.
I don't work all year. Okay. That is a thing that is, to me, in therapy, for therapists, also a business model that could be adapted for yourself. Maybe this is a thing that you won't have to do all year. You can free up a whole lot of time by deciding when you work and when you don't work.
It's true. Yeah, because a lot of times with therapists, you just have to, the clients that you see have to be in the state that you're licensed in. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in that state too. So that can free up so many possibilities. Yeah, absolutely. I did want to talk about traveling abroad and the impact that has had on your life. I know that I just talked to Nicole Bannister yesterday about the privilege of having an American passport. And I feel like that's something that's a new concept to me, like in the past year and a half, just being introduced to Exodus Summit. The privilege that holds to be able to travel around the world, experience different cultures and things, and not feel that you have to be stuck in an environment that's harming you. So I'd love to hear about your experiences traveling abroad and how it has changed your life and opened you up to new possibilities.
I wasn't born in America. My parents are both immigrants. I was an immigrant to America. They were both born in West Indies. My dad in Antigua, my mom in Jamaica. I think I had my first passport when I was a couple months old. I've traveled my whole life, but I've traveled the way people in the North, Black people in the North, go south further to see their family is what we went to the islands to see our family, right? I traveled, but I went to Antigua, I went to Jamaica, I went for funerals, I went for weddings, I went to live there for a while. It wasn't the idea of traveling to places where I had no link, even though I traveled, right? Idea of traveling to places where I had no relationship was never something that was always very foreign to me, right? I remember watching Entrapment whenever that came out with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones, and the towers in Kuala Lumpur, the Petronas Towers are there. And I remember seeing it and being like, wow, I wonder what it'd be like to see those like in person. And at the time, I don't remember what year that movie came out, but at the time thinking, oh, but that's never going to happen. And not having a reason that it's never going to happen, except that where is Kuala Lumpur, baby? Like, I don't know. Like, and like, I don't have access to that part of the world. I will never, in my life, I will never see those. And on my career break, I landed in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, and I was on my way from the airport to my hotel, and I was like, oh shit. It didn't dawn on me until I was in country. Like, I'm about to go see the Petronas Towers. Like, I flashed back to that moment of saying, like, it wasn't something that I held with me, but while I was there, it hit me like 15, 20 years ago, you told yourself you would never see these things. And you can probably walk from your hotel over to them right now tonight. Right? Traveling the world on my career break. Because I traveled before then, but traveling the world on my career break led me not just like pretty places, it led me to ideas and concepts that I wouldn't have otherwise, right? Like the way Americans work, even like the British be laughing at us. And if the British are laughing at you, you're doing it wrong, baby.
Yeah.
Right? Like their system is not that different from ours, but they're like, you get how much break? You do what? Maternity leave is what? Ew.
Oh.
Like,
abysmal.
Right? If the Brits are laughing at you because your system sucks, baby, you got problems, right? Around the world, that's you low. Around the world, seeing people living a freer life, right? Than we have in America. And we're told that all these countries outside of like America is like the golden land and it's the best. And all these countries are poor and terrible and unsafe. But then you go there and everyone's happy. Or happier than
that's true.
America.
It's shocking.
It's like, wait, something is not clickety clack. Like, I had to turn that, you know what I mean? The engine had to I had to turn the key a couple times to get the engine to start on that one. Like, why are they're supposed to be miserable because they're poor. And that's what matters in America, right? This whole country is supposed to be like a shithole. And then you go there and you're like, first of all, it's not. It's very nice. These are very lovely countries.
Yeah.
And people are happy and their lifestyle makes them happy and they get to spend time with their family and they get to spend time with their friends. And it's like, oh, we should be importing more of that instead of exporting more of what America is. And so seeing that firsthand changed my relationship to work. Seeing that like people living in communities like in Bali, right, where they have everyone together in their compounds and that kind of stuff, really let me know that the way we do it in the US is wrong, right? That like get out at 18 and then hard is just not the way we should be doing life. And so, yeah, my life is different now because I took a career break, because I traveled around the world for a year, and because I allowed myself to think beyond America, which is hard because we're indoctrinated to think that America is the end all be all. But allowing myself to say, if they have this life, right? If I never thought I'd ever see these towers and I've seen the towers, why tell myself that I can't have this life too? Because it's here, right? It's here. These people have it. So maybe I can have it too. And that was really helpful for me.
Yes. Yeah. I also, in travel, I got to meet myself, right? I got to meet parts of myself that I don't get to be in the United States, right? I grew up in, when I was a kid, we moved to a suburb outside of Columbus, Ohio. And the white people were not nice to me. And I didn't have friends. I had friends at church and I had friends at other places, but in school, it was like, school was a stressful thing for me. It was, you know, I don't know. It was not a good experience. I wouldn't want my kids to live like that. Right. But anyway, so I became, because this was from 4th grade on, I became a person who had a lot of borders and boundaries and protections. And I had to move through my day with a bunch of protections against other people. And I thought that meant that was who I was. I thought I was a guarded person, or I thought that I was not a friendly person. I thought I was standoffish. Standoffish was always the word. I thought I was a standoffish person. I thought that I was a person who didn't like strangers, when really I just was a person who had to be defensive. And then I left that up behind in the United States. Traveling, even for short periods of time, I felt that melt away. I was a pharmacy technician and I could take five-day vacations at the time, right? Even on a 5-day vacation, I could feel those defenses falling away. And then I would have to put them back on when I flew back into the country. And then on my career break, on my sabbatical, I got to be me who does not do that anymore. I got to be me who does not go back with one foot in the door, one foot out anymore. I get to be all in on being a community-minded, giving, caring, open, sharing person. I don't have to be defensive and guarded and standoffish because I'm not naturally. And I got to find that out through travel. I would not have known. I would have if my life had always been in the US, I would have thought that was who I was. And through travel, I learned that was not who I was. It was just how I had to be. And I moved myself to places where I don't have to be that.
That's so important, right? Because all the defenses that we have to have, like you said, in the US every day, you got to put on your armor when you go outside, especially in like going into like toxic jobs, which so many of us are in. You have to armor yourself to even enter those. Who are you outside of that? Who are you really? And I think, travel has also done that for me. It's like, I'm not really that person, Good. That's powerful. Dr. Kamani says, yes, agreed. When I went to Ghana, most of the people that we met were not financially wealthy, yet seemed more relaxed, peaceful, and welcoming. I love that.
That's right.
Ghana is on my travel list. I love that. But yes, as we're wrapping up, I guess I wanted to ask you about, the summit going forward. I think I already asked that question. Hold on, let me go to a different question.
Look at you with prepared questions.
I know. I got a list.
Organized. We be winging it.
I wanted to ask about the keynote speakers because those are amazing speakers. How did you go about asking them to speak at the summit in the topics that they'll cover at the summit? Because you have Tabitha Brown, right? Octavia Rahim, Dr. Joy, and Rachel Cargill, which are huge names. So I'd love to know more about that.
We're not afraid to ask. Truly, that's what it boils down to. We're not afraid to ask. This was a different kind of ask for us. Most of those women had agents. And so we had a process of working through someone else. We didn't ask them directly. But in our ask, we had to tell them who they were speaking to. And telling them about the Exodus Summit women, they were all like, yes, we'd like to speak to them. Yes. Okay. Right? That they honestly, Tabitha Brown could not pick me out of a lineup. If it was two people in a lineup, Tabitha Brown could not pick me out. She's not coming to speak to me. She's not coming to speak to Stephanie. Right? She gonna get on stage and be like, baby, who is you? Right? But they know the Exodus Summit women because we described them, we talked about them, we told them whose lives they would be touching while they were talking. And that's why they're here. So this has nothing to do with who we are. It's who our community is that got them to the table.
That's right. What is very exciting is not the names of the speakers though. Tabitha Brown, Rachel Cargill, and Dr. Joy. And Octavia Rahim, who we adore. Okay, listen.
Yes.
Somebody's gonna have to. She's gonna need security from us. Okay.
We're talkers now. Every time we talk, I emailed her yesterday. No, we were talking about it yesterday, and I was like, "I'll email her. I'll do it. I'll do it."
She's gonna need security protection. But it's not. What's exciting is not who they are. What's exciting is what they're coming to teach, to share, to give. We love having speakers come into Exodus Summit who leave our women with something, leave them with a plan, leave them with a tool, leave them with something. And so that's what's exciting. Octavia Rahim is coming to leave us with a rest practice, right? Not superficial self-care, mani-pedi talk, right? But what is your rest practice? The same way that you need to nourish your body, you need to rest your body. How are you going to make sure that this happens? I think, and so I'm sorry. So the speakers' names are exciting. Marissa Price is the speaker. That's exciting, okay? But
Yes.
what's more exciting is what Marissa is going to talk to us about. Marissa is going to leave us with some things that we were overlooking and some things that we were underprepared, some things that we were overlooking, and then some things that we were over preparing for, some things that we've created that we think are boundaries, right? Or like hurdles that really, it's just a step over, right? This is not a humongous thing that you're going to have to overcome. It's just a little step, things that you're over indexing and things that you're under indexing. What's going to happen after the session is somebody is now going to know that this is possible for her because Marissa came in and told her, this is a thing that you're over emphasizing in your plan. Okay. And this is a thing that you're underprepared for. So we're super excited to have these speakers come in.
Yeah.
But it's because of what they're going to leave you with.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And I think y'all said you have 19 speakers so far. Is that?
I counted yesterday. I got to 24.
24 speakers. Okay. I'm excited.
Yeah. Friends, if you're a Black woman who has thought about moving abroad or taking a sabbatical or being nomadic and working and traveling around, come to Exodus Summit 2023. Marissa's link is in the description of this video. If you haven't really thought about those things, but you just want a way to prioritize your own freedom, right? You want to make sure your life is set up around what you want and not what capitalism and white supremacy told you should be your life. Come to Exodus Summit 2023. It's amazing. It's amazing the way that the speakers and the community come together to create something transformative in Black women's lives every year. The summit is October 6th through 9th, and it's online. Marissa's link is here. If she's a speaker, use her link to buy your ticket, to register, and then prepare to come to an event that has the power, the ability to make a real change for you. Give you some free time. Look at the sessions. Use the link. Look at Exodus Summit sessions. We have some speakers coming in on helping you get free time in your day today. Right? Here's how you renegotiate some things in your life right now to get some free time. There's speakers coming in. Here's how you get more money on the job you're already on. Right? Here's how you get a better paying job. Every year, women come to the summit, and every year, women report back amazing successes. Marissa is an example, right? And so it's your turn. You're invited. You're invited.
It's also my favorite place on the internet. My favorite thing on the internet. I create my favorite thing on the internet. But
I love that.
It is a space where every year Black women come, and they have a safe space to dream. They have a safe space to state their desires without someone telling them it can't be done, or they shouldn't want it, or they should want something else. It is a safe space for Black women to create a foundation for a different life. If you want something different, this is the place to start building your different life with women who will fully support you, with Black women who will hold your hands as you walk down your path. And that is not something we see in a lot of places in the world. And so I'm so glad that it's here.
Yeah.
True. Yes, I'm excited. I have my all access pass. Got it early this year because last year I played myself and I waited till the price went up.
Don't do that.
So I know. I learned this year though. I got my all access pass.
You know better.
Yes.
You know better, you do better.
Yeah, that part. That part right there. Yes. But yeah, I want to thank y'all so much for being on my channel. And I'm so excited to speak at Exodus Summit this year about things you should be worried about, things you shouldn't be too worried about when traveling or moving abroad with my friend Angela from Burnout to Bliss, who is also a part of Roshida's coaching program. So yeah, I'm so excited. And thank y'all so much for all the beautiful comments in the chat as well. This has been amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.